Sağ olasın kardeşim. İyi diyelim iyi olsun. İçeride.
Aradı mı? Röportajlar geçen sene de yapmıştık. Of the Grand National Assembly, Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends, good evening and welcome to Switzerland. After last year, I know many of you are eagerly waiting for Mustafa Sandal to take the stage. You have to live with me only and with Deputy Minister Kozai, but Switzerland would not have been ranked world's most innovative country for the 15th consecutive year if we presented exactly the same program this year. Innovation. Innovation is a key part of the Swiss story. Another is stability, reliability, and tradition. You have already experienced Swiss tradition through the wonderful performance of our alphorn duo Ernarian at the entrance, and you will hear more from them later. For centuries, the alphorn was a simple but powerful instrument of communication, connecting people across mountains and valleys. Today, we are living through another communication revolution, the artificial intelligence. AI offers extraordinary opportunities to improve our societies, our economies, our scientific discoveries. But to realize this potential, innovation must be accompanied by trust, responsibility, and international cooperation. This is where International Geneva plays a unique role. As the home of international cooperation, Geneva has also become a global hub for AI governance, bringing together governments, businesses, academia, and civil society to shape AI to serve humanity. Looking ahead to the Geneva AI Summit in June 2027, the Swiss Embassy is proud to launch a series of Road to Geneva events together with our Turkish partners, connecting our innovation ecosystem and shaping this important global conversation together. Our bilateral relations is built on the same spirit of partnership. Switzerland is today the sixth largest foreign investor in Turkey, with more than 200 Swiss companies active across the country. And at this point, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to those companies that you see on my left and on my right that have made this evening possible. We are deeply grateful for their commitments to strengthen the ties between Switzerland and Turkey. But our people-to-people connections are vibrant and deep. They are reflected every day through tourism, education, business, and cultural exchanges. And most recently, in the remarkable achievement of Murat Yakin, who led the Swiss national football team to an historic World Cup quarterfinal. Well done. Every day, 31 direct flights between Turkey and Switzerland connect our cities, our businesses, and our people. And they transport every year more than 2.7 million people to our airports in Zurich, Basel, and Geneva. Together, we also work within the UN, the Council of Europe, and the OSCE, where Switzerland and Turkey currently fill the roles of chairman in office and of the Secretary General. This year, we also celebrate a remarkable milestone, 100 years since Turkey adopted its civil code and code of obligation directly inspired by the Swiss codes. This legal heritage remains a lasting symbol of the trust and the cooperation between our two countries. A century later, it also reminds us that the rule of law and democracy remain essential foundations for stability and prosperity. On a personal note, and we see some testimonies of this, my wife and I have had the privilege over the last 12 months of traveling across this remarkable and beautiful country. We have been inspired by its rich history, its extraordinary diversity, and above all, by the warmth and the generosity of its people. We love being in Ankara and we feel at home. Thank you very much for your presence tonight. I have now the privilege to give the floor to Deputy Minister Bozay, Mehmet Bey, if you wish.
Schöner, distinguished ambassadors, dear Karin, Excellencies, distinguished deputies, distinguished guests, on behalf of the Government of Republic of Turkey and the Turkish people, I'd like to extend my warm greetings and sincere congratulations to the government and the people of Switzerland on the occasion of the Swiss National Day. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you this evening. As Guillaume told us that Mustafa Sandal is not here, we are taking the stage, just him and I, but don't worry, we will not sing. Let me start by highlighting numerous reasons why Turkey and Switzerland are important partners. Firstly, the historical depth of the Turkish-Swiss relations spans more than 150 years, tracing its roots back to the late 19th century. During the transitional epoch from the Ottoman Empire to the Turkish Republic, treaties and conventions concerning the foundation and sovereign rights of Turkey, such as the Treaty of Lausanne and the Montreux Convention, were sealed with signatures affixed in Swiss keys. Furthermore, as the foundational legal framework that enabled the new republic to integrate with global economy and society was built on the example of Swiss law. We recall with great pleasure that last year we celebrated the centenary of our friendship treaty through various cultural activities. As my colleague underlined, this year is marking the significant milestone of centenary of the adoption of the Civil Code and Code of Obligations. Their impact on the Turkish legal system has been duly commemorated through joint academic seminars and workshops featuring both Turkish and Swiss legal scholars. Over decades, our relations have stood the test of time and endured challenges. Now we enjoy excellent and diverse set of relations. Modern Swiss-Turkish ties are firmly anchored by robust economic cooperation and a flourishing cultural bridge. Distinguished guests, last week, Diplomatic Corps participated in presentation made by His Excellency Ulusal, Turkish Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure. During his presentation, the Minister mentioned development road, middle corridor, in-rail project, and Hijaz Railway that will aim at connecting Europe and Asia. Dear John, in the presentation, after the presentation, you kindly requested from Mr. Ulusal to share possible future projects on transportation and infrastructure in the scope of connectivity. Let me take us back to the 20th century, 1912. When looking at the history of our relations with Switzerland, the 1912 locomotive procurement stands out as a brilliant example of our cooperation in terms of connectivity, today's fashionable word. The contract with the Swiss Locomotive and Machine Works, SLM, marked the first step of our long-standing cooperation in the field of railway transportation. SLM supplied very strong steam engines to build 10 locomotives for our Hijaz Railway project. Now, let's come back to 2026 from 1912. Yesterday, we signed 5 agreements with Iran. Some of these agreements are related to connectivity and infrastructure, including the projects mentioned by Mr. Ulusal. All these connectivity projects, as you rightly requested last week after the presentation, hopefully will provide new opportunities to foster Turkish-Swiss relations and carry them to a higher segment. I am sure that we will soon work on these projects in the coming period, as our economic partnership is backed by billions of dollars in bilateral trade and extensive mutual investments. Our bilateral trade volume has nearly reached $18 billion in 2025, while direct investments from Switzerland into Turkey have exceeded $5 billion over the past 2 decades. Today, our countries continue to recognize the complementary strengths of our economies and work closely to address practical challenges faced by our business communities in order to further flourish our economic commercial relations. Regarding the high-level visits, we are delighted to welcome His Excellency Mr. Guy Parmelin, President of Swiss Confederation and Head of the Department of Economic Affairs, Education and Research to Turkey last October. We were equally pleased to host Vice President Foreign Minister Ignacio Cassis at the 5th Antalya Diplomacy Forum this April. As two friendly countries, we share closely aligned visions on a wide array of regional and international issues. We are committed to maintaining our close engagement with Switzerland, both bilaterally and within multilateral platforms, particularly within the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, under Switzerland's chairpersonship for 2026. Amid a landscape marked by growing instability and disruptions, we stand together in our political efforts to manage conflicts and promote European security, placing special emphasis on mediation, dialogue, and inclusivity in the diplomatic and academic platforms. Last but not least, I would like to lay special emphasis on the nearly 200,000 Turkish community living in Switzerland. They serve as an indispensable component and a true asset of our bilateral relations as another connectivity dimension between our countries. Dear guests, we are greatly encouraged by our joint commitment to advancing our cooperation in a wide range of areas. I am also pleased to note that we have recently opened new avenues to have political consultations, such as in the fields of security and regional developments in Africa, which will extend our cooperation to other continents. I look forward with great pleasure visiting Bern this autumn for next round of political consultations with my counterpart, Ambassador Fazel, State Secretary for Foreign Affairs of Switzerland. To conclude my remarks, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and once again to the Ambassador and to the Ambassadors for hosting us today to celebrate the National Day of Switzerland. Let's continue to build progress in Turkish-Swiss friendship and cooperation.
Thank you very much of the Swiss Embassy. I know you came for the raclette, but you came also for the very important TEL Award 2026. And it's really my great pleasure to present to you the TEL Award 2026. This year, recipient embodies the very best of Swiss-Turkish cooperation. Professor Bilge Demirkes is an internationally recognized scientist whose work spans from the frontiers of particles, physics, space science, and artificial intelligence. As a member of the International Independent Scientific Panel on AI, established under the auspices of the Secretary General of the United Nations, she contributes to one of the defining global challenges of our time, ensuring that artificial intelligence is developed in a trustworthy, responsible, and inclusive way. Professor Demirkes is not only an outstanding scientist, she is also a remarkable bridge builder. Through her commitment to aspiring researchers, she strengthens the ties between Switzerland and Turkey and inspires a new generation to think beyond borders. For her exceptional scientific achievements, her leadership in international AI cooperation, and her outstanding contribution to Swiss-Turkish relations, it's my great honor and pleasure to present the TEL Award 2026 to Professor Bilge Demirkes. Congratulations.